Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Visa series on Winding Roads and Pages. I'm Shweta,
And I'm Nikita.
and we are here to help you unravel the world with a regular 9 to 5 job. We receive a ton of questions regarding the visa processes of various countries, and so we thought it'd be best if we could document all of this in a series so that you have everything you need when you want to apply. And we are starting with the much coveted and much feared Schengen visa. So, if you are planning a trip to Europe this year and you want to know everything about how to apply for this visa, then this video is for you.
And we will be breaking down everything from how to book your appointment to the documents that you will need and the mistakes you should avoid.
So stick around till the end because we've got some great tips coming up. Also, let us know in the comments which country do you want us to cover next.
Okay, first thing, what is Schengen visa?
Schengen visa is actually a golden ticket to enter over 29 European countries like France, Germany, even Iceland, and so many more. This means that you don't need a separate visa to enter each of these countries, and you can travel seamlessly with just one visa within the Schengen region.
And how does one choose which country to apply in?
So there are two ways to decide this. One, you could pick the country in which you're spending the most number of days. Or let's say you're visiting two countries and you're spending equal number of days in both countries, then you would pick the country through which you're entering the Schengen region.
Right, for example, we plan to spend the most number of days in Iceland, so both of us applied to the Iceland embassy, even though my port of entry was Germany and her port of entry was the Netherlands.
And most embassy appointments happen through VFS Global in India. So you just go to their site, select the embassy that you want to apply through, select your city and the type of visa that you need, and book your appointment slot.
Yes, but book early because appointment gets full in advance, especially during the peak holiday season.
It's important to choose the type of visa that you need. There is single entry, double entry, and even multiple entry.
And you only need a multiple entry or a double entry visa if your itinerary involves you going out of the Schengen region during your trip.
Yes, so be very careful when you're planning your itineraries this way.
Next is booking your appointment. So when you're booking your appointment, sometimes the site will ask you to make a payment. That payment mostly is the visa appointment fee and not really the visa fee.
Right. So we both applied for the Iceland Schengen visa, but when I was booking my appointment, I paid the VFS service fee while booking the appointment, whereas Nikita paid it on the day of her appointment.
Now for Iceland specifically, there are very few visa slots that are available because only very few people apply through there. So make sure you book in advance.
Usually for Iceland, these slots open up at the end of the month, most likely on the last day of the month. So we booked on the last day in October for an appointment in January. So yes, even though the visa may get processed quickly, the appointments are very hard to get and hence you will have to plan well in advance. Now, in case you want to plan, a 1 month in advance or a few weeks in advance, there are a few countries that you could look at, such as Switzerland or even Germany, have appointments that you could book a month in advance. This is the most important part, the document checklist or all of the documents that you will submit along with your application.
Right, so let's go one by one.
Right. The first one is your passport. Make sure that it is valid for a minimum of 6 months post the travel that you are planning, and also make sure that you have a minimum of 2 blank pages on your passport. In case you have old passports, please do carry the old passports and your current passport and the photocopies of the first and last page.
Second is the application form. The online application form needs to be filled on the embassy website. You will need your entry exit details to fill this. Also, a separate Schengen visa form needs to be filled.
Third, photographs. You will need two white background photographs and they have to be 35 mm into 45 mm. Whenever you visit the photo studio to take your photo, please do mention that this is for your Schengen visa and in all likelihood they will know what to do. The most important thing for you to remember is the white background, the dimensions of the photo, and make sure that your ears are clearly visible.
Fourth is flight and hotel bookings. You will need to have a stay booked for each night of your trip. You will have to ensure that the booking confirmation has the names of all the people who are traveling. You will need to show bookings of your flights in and out of the Schengen region and everything that is booked for your travel internally. Like in our case, we had a car that we had rented, so we showed the rental confirmation for that.
The fifth one is your employment details. If you are employed, then you will have to submit your offer letter, 3 months pay slip, and an NOC or a leave letter from your employer confirming that your leaves have been approved for those specific dates. Now, if you're self-employed, then you will have to submit your business registration, GST certificate, if you have a partnership deed. any other supporting documents.
Next is financial proofs. You will have to submit 3 months of bank statements which are signed and stamped by the bank, preferably in blue ink. Also, you will have to submit your last 2 years of ITR acknowledgement.
Seventh, this is probably the most important part of your application, which is the cover letter. So don't copy paste a generic cover letter that you find on Google. Make sure to write a personal one, detailing out why you're visiting this country, who you're traveling with, and how you're planning on funding this trip. If you want a template on how to frame this, we have linked our cover letter in the description.
Next is travel insurance. You will have to take an insurance that covers around 30,000 euros for the entire trip. Make sure it covers medical emergencies and loss of passport.
Apart from the mandatory documents, we also submitted these documents to make our application more comprehensive. A mutual fund investment certificate or statement, our credit card statement to show how much credit limit we have, marriage certificates to prove relationship, valid visas or visa appointments of the travel companions that we were traveling with, and also the highest degree certificate that we had. These are not mandatory, these are optional, but we thought it would add to our application, and hence we insisted that these be added to the required documents.
Okay, so now let's talk about how much will this visa cost you. Visa fee will cost you anywhere between 7,000 to 9,000 rupees. VFS service charges will be around 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, and courier and SMS charges will be around 300 to 500 rupees.
So a total of 10,000 to 12,000 INR per person, depending on which city or which embassy you apply to. Okay, appointment day. So carry all your originals and photocopies. Also, do not be late because VFS is very particular about their rules.
Also, make sure that you double, triple check all your documents. They will send you back even if one document or one photocopy is missing.
Also note that no laptops, no pen drives, no bags are allowed inside. There is a locker system at the entrance of each VFS center, but it is unusually expensive, so be mindful.
And once inside, you will head to the Shenzhen section, take your token and wait for your turn.
Once your turn comes up, you will submit all of your documents. A document checker from VFS will check all of your documents, tell you if anything is missing, if anything extra needs to be added, so that your application is correct.
Once your documents are accepted, you will make the payment and then your biometric will be done and your photo will be taken. This entire process can take anywhere between 1 to 2 hours.
And some VFSs may not accept UPI or card payment, so carry cash just in case and make sure that you carry the exact change.
And then you wait.
So how long does it actually take after you submit your application?
So for me, it was 12 days from the date of appointment to the date I got my passport back.
For me, it was 15 because there was, weekends, public holiday, and of course, my luck.
If you got all your documents sorted, Iceland embassy is pretty fast with like low rejection rates.
Once you have your passport, this is everything that you should be checking on your visa and what they mean.
Name, ensure that your name is printed correctly and matches that on your passport.
And 2, the number of entries, do check whether you received a single entry visa or a multiple entry visa. Validity. Check the from and until dates printed on your visa to make sure that your visa is valid for the entire duration of your trip and your flights in and out of the Schengen region should fall within these dates.
Duration of stay. Note that your visa validity dates and your duration of stay days are not the same. For example, your visa might be valid for a month, but the number of days that you're permitted to stay in the Schengen region might be 15.
Most frequently asked question, how much bank balance should I have in my bank statements?
Well, there is no right number, but you should ideally keep around 1.5 lakh per person for a 10-day trip. What if I'm the sponsor of the family? How do I show my funds?
So if you're applying as a family or a couple, then your bank balance should reflect sufficient funds for each of the person that's traveling with you. And your cover letter should also mention that you are the sponsor for your spouse, your parent, or your child. I plan on staying in campsites or I plan on going camping. How do I show these as, accommodation proofs?
So we don't really know how that will be perceived, but what we did was we booked refundable stays for all nights of the trip, and once we had received our visa, we cancelled them. Did they ask for extra documents?
They did actually, even though it is not required. They asked for my Aadhaar card while I was applying. So carry everything that you could possibly think of so that you are well prepared. Another thing that happens is, let's say that you want to submit your mutual fund statement or your credit card statement, they sometimes will refuse to do so because it's not required. But if you think this adds to your application, insist that they send these documents along with your application. What happens when the visa given is for fewer days than what you had originally planned for your trip?
So usually that doesn't happen. They will give you a visa of days that you had requested for, maybe with a little buffer. But what you can do is make sure to have bookings that have some flexibility in changing the dates if required. So that's your complete guide from booking to approval.
So if you found this useful, drop a comment or even ask your questions and we'll of course reply to you.
Like, share and subscribe, and good luck with your Shenzhen visa.